China is buying up some American farmland. The question is China doing that to spy on the U.S. military?
Did you know China is buying up all of our farmland? You may already know this, but the thing is if they know that they can get away with it, they naturally take things a step further. And what China has done now is starting to raise major national security concerns. And it even has both the Democratic chairman and the Republican ranking member of Senate Intelligence Committee concerned and opposed. This very well could be all about spying on our military. Could it be espionage? What you should know about what China's up to now, coming up next. Welcome back to all the subs. If you're brand new here, like economic updates that affect you and how-to emergency survival videos, be sure to hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one.
From the farmland in question, the multi-million-dollar development raising some eyebrows all the way back in Washington, D.C.
Now that transaction has come under scrutiny here in Washington, D.C., where some in the intelligence community warn that the deal should be blocked because it could offer Chinese spies unprecedented access to the American base.
Making headlines, very suspicious, but you may have not seen it because not all the media reports what you should know. So real quick, what is China up to now? We know China's been buying up tons of farmland, tons of agricultural land. We know that. But what they've done now, I'm talking about bringing some major awareness and concern. National security concerns, in fact. A lot of good information here. So let's go over these 3 key points, get you the information you need to know. Chinese food manufacturer Fufeng Group bought 300 acres of farmland near Grand Forks, North Dakota to set up a milling plant. Nothing new. We already know they're buying up tons of our farmland. At first glance, largely barren, wide-swept tract of land just north of Grand Forks, North Dakota, seems to be an unlikely location for international espionage. There's not much more than 300-acre patch of prime Dakota farmland right now, other than dirt and tall grasses bordered by highways and light industrial facilities on the outskirts of the city. Doesn't sound suspicious yet, but when the 3 North Dakotans who own the parcels of land here sold them for millions of dollars this spring, the transaction raised alarm bells as far away as Washington, D.C. Well, good. Finally, someone's waking up. Craig Spicer, whose trucking company borders the Chinese-held land, says he's suspicious of the new company's intent. Quote, "It makes me feel nervous for my grandkids," he said. "It makes me feel nervous for my kids." Yeah, I might feel the same way. Now, some security experts warn the Chinese corn milling plant should be stopped because it could offer Chinese intelligence unprecedented access to the facility. And how is this possible? It gets worse. Key point number 2. The project is located about 20 minutes from Grand Forks Air Force Base, raising national security concerns. And being so close to one of our fundamental Air Force bases, and with the buyer being a Chinese-owned company, I mean, we don't have any problems with China right now, do we? Or do we? The Fufeng Group is based in Shandong, China. This property is just 20 minutes down the road from Grand Forks Air Force Base, home to the nation's most sensitive military drone technology. The base is also home of a new space networking center, which a North Dakotan senator said handles the backbone of all U.S. military communications across the globe. Well, it's getting a little bit more serious now. So what great farmers sold to China? The report states Gary Bridgeford, who sold his parcel of farmland to the Chinese company for around $2.6 million this year, said the neighbors have vented their anger at him and planted signs opposing the project in his front yard. "I've been threatened," he said. "I've been called every name in the book for selling my property." Bridgeford said he believes the national security concerns are overblown. He also said, how would they gain any knowledge of the base? He asks, "It's about 12 miles away. It's not like it's next door." So he's one of those farmers. Probably doesn't know anything about technology. Bridgeford also says, people hear the China stuff and there's concern. But everyone has a phone in their pocket and it's probably made in China. Where do you draw the line? Well, I draw the line when you let China buy 300 acres next to our Air Force Base. The city's mayor, Brandon Boshensky, said that he just wants to do business. The proposed $700 million plant would create more than 200 direct jobs and other opportunities for logistics, trucking, and other support services. He is pushing for the project, but he does acknowledge that there is national security concerns that are beyond his ability to process as a small town mayor. Well, I don't know what to say about Brandon Boshensky, but he might be friends with Brandon. So what's the Air Force have to say? An officer circulated a memo about the project in April, casting it as a national security threat to the United States and alleging that it fits a pattern of Chinese subnational espionage campaigns using commercial, economic development projects to get close to Department of Defense installations. The officer, Major Jeremy Fox, argued that the Fufeng project is located on a narrow geographic footprint at which passive receiving equipment could intercept sensitive drone and space-based communications to and from base. Well, that alone right there, shut them down. Some of the most sensitive elements of Grand Forks exist with the digital uplinks and downlinks inherent with unnamed air systems and their interaction with space-based assets, he wrote. And any such data collection would present a costly national security risk, causing grave damage to the United States' strategic advantages. At a time when we have world problems and our great leadership has us spread thin across the globe, and we're running out of money, food, and resources, not good. Fox argued that the Air Force would have little ability to detect any electronic surveillance on a drone and satellite transmission being conducted from the Chinese property. Quote, passive collection of those signals would be undetectable, as the requirements to do so would merely require ordinary antennas turned to the right collecting frequencies, he wrote. This introduces a grave vulnerability to our Department of Defense installations and is incredibly compromising to the U.S. national security. Yeah. So it sounds like he wrote this memo and delivered it himself because it had that much concern. So at least we know someone's paying attention. Good job, Fox. Major Fox is not the only official concerned about the farmland in Grand Forks. The U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission cited Fox's intelligence concerns in a May 26 report, writing, "The location of the land close to the base is particularly convenient for monitoring air traffic flows in and out of the base, among other security-related concerns." So apparently they've already patterned espionage with this economic company business. And with as much American land they already own, huge concern. They're getting bold enough to buy the land right next to our Air Force bases. Key point number 3. Both the Democratic chairman and Republican ranking member of the Senate Intelligence Committee told CNBC they are opposed to the project. Well, good. Let's see what the important people have to say. Senator Kevin Cramer, RND, opposes the project despite the economic advantages it might bring to his own constituents. He says he's suspicious of the Chinese government's intent. I think we're grossly underappreciating how effective they are at collecting information, collecting data, using it in nefarious ways, he said in an interview. So I just as soon not have the Chinese Communist Party doing business in my backyard. Good call, Senator Cramer. Both the Democratic chairman and Republican ranking members of the Senate Intelligence Committee also told CNBC they are opposed to the project. The Senate Intelligence Committee has loudly been sounding the alarm about the counterintelligence. The Senate Intelligence Committee has loudly been sounding the alarm about the counterintelligence threat posed by the People's Republic of China, said Chairman Mark Warner. We should be seriously concerned about Chinese investment in locations close to sensitive sites, such as military bases around the U.S. How about all of the foreign investments on our soil? His Republican counterpart, Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, agrees it is dangerous, foolish, and short-sighted to allow the Chinese Communist Party and its proxies to purchase land near U.S. military installation, he told CNBC in a statement, noting that he is co-sponsoring legislation that would give the Biden administration the power to block such a purchase. This is something we must address. Good call, Rubio, but will the Biden administration do anything to stop this? I make these videos to spread the word, to get the word out to the masses. It's all about everyone knowing what they need to know to make a difference. There's too many people that are shielded from the truth these days. And maybe we're too far gone. Like I've read down in the comments before, the United States has been sold out. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments below. Do you think this is right? What's your angle and what's your take? Remember everyone, keep prepping, keep emergency preparedness at the top of your mind. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. We'll see you guys on the next one.